Goodness me, it is glorious out. This is going to be one of those really pleasant, enjoyable runs, I think.
Hope so.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, that's your phrase. It does seem like recently I'm starting all of the videos out running, but do you know what? The feedback we get is people want more of it, because in some countries they're not as fortunate as here, that they're totally locked down and they want to live vicariously through us to get out running, show some nice scenery on a nice day. So that's what we thought we'd bring you. And I also bring you what I think is another really nice little nugget of information you can put in your mental armoury to help you through this time as well. We'll get into that in a second. Let me set the scene a little. So last night I went to a Zoom sports psychology conference, and that all came about because I'm a member of a number of different Facebook pages about sports psychology, motivation. And in one of those, a friend of mine shared a post about a friend he knows who's doing a conference on sports motivation and a new concept that he'd been working on for his PhDs. And he has a really interesting concept he's been working on with high-level rugby players that I think has really clear benefits for the likes of you and me, so I want to share them with you here. The psychological or motivational model that Stephen worked on his PhD is called MAC, and what it means is, and what it stands for is mindfulness, acceptance and commitment. But I wouldn't be able to even start doing it justice by explaining it now. All very much about being in the moment, and lots of research into what players actually felt like and what they were thinking about when they were at their best and at their worst. And we definitely can adapt that as runners and triathletes, that's for sure. So I guess what I'm trying to give you in this video is more ways for you, me, Mary, all of us to be at our best more of the time in training and in racing. I think we could all benefit from that, and I think it also has implications about how we are living our lives on the day-to-day during these lockdown times. So I contacted Stephen Leckey, whose work it was that inspired me to pass this knowledge on to you, and organised the chat so he could help explain the approach way better than I could. And while I was out on my bike ride, I found my mind drifting in and out of the present moment, thinking about so many different things like the Zoom meeting the day before and the things I'd learnt, and I knew the MAC approach could help me with this, staying in the present moment. But I was also not feeling it on this ride, and my legs just weren't having it, and the critic in my head was strong. And I knew, even more importantly, that Stephen could help me with that, and that is what got me pumped, and I couldn't wait to chat so that I could pass it on to you as well. I'm in now, so would you be able to just explain the MAC method? I think I've got a gist of it, but you would do much better job of explaining it than I would.
Yeah, the MAC approach is the mindfulness, acceptance and commitment approach. It's based on a clinical approach called acceptance and commitment therapy. The first thing to say is the MAC approach really just seeks to make people more psychologically flexible, and that's like being psychologically flexible is a bit like physical flexibility in that you can get into these difficult, stressful, challenging positions and still perform. And much like that, the psychological flexibility is putting yourself in demanding situations and still being able to perform. And psychological flexibility is really seeing things for, having challenging thoughts and emotions and still performing. This MAC approach is very much about understanding that your experiences, whether sport or education, will make you feel certain things, and sometimes those things will be difficult and challenging, but we still got to perform with it. So, it's the whole thing of if I got up and asked you to do a dance in front of the class or in front of your peers, you'd probably start to feel nervous. And it's not about not feeling nervous, it's about noticing that you're nervous and still performing. And the way that's really it's a triangle with one corner being open, and that's the mindfulness part. So mindfulness is just about this non-judgmental present moment awareness, and a few key things to pick up on that is non-judgmental is really important. So next time you're kind of out for that run and you're getting those challenging thoughts, about I can't keep going, I'm too tired, and I want to stop. We're not going to see that as a bad thing. That's very, very normal. Everyone who runs gets those thoughts. So you're not alone in that. So it's not about seeing that as a bad thought. It's just simply the thought you're having because you're out for a run. If you weren't out for a run, you wouldn't have that thought. So it's very much just that experience, seeing for what it is. And thoughts in your head are just words. They're just words that pass through your mind. They'll come and go. You'll run on for a little bit, and then sure enough, the thought will come back up. I'm too tired, and then you run on a bit, and it comes back up again. So mindfulness and being psychologically flexible. The first step in that is noticing what you're thinking and feeling, and we do that through being present. Sorry, is the first part, and that's how you notice what you're thinking and feeling. So that being present is really, really important. The acceptance component, which is being open, is all around being open to experiencing these challenging thoughts and emotions. So it's really linked to that idea that you're going to experience them. So we're going to understand that we can't control thought, and it's not about controlling thought. It's accepting that those thoughts will come and go, and we're going to move in this value-driven direction. So we've got, and that last part is about your values. So it's really understanding who you want to be. So that could be the athlete you want to be, the person you want to be, and then using that to drive you to do these different things. Yeah. Because whether you're running a marathon or whether you're running a 5K, those are difficult things based on, so it doesn't matter if you're ultra fit and you're doing a 5K, but you'll still experience the same thoughts that if someone was doing one for the first time. So it's just understanding that this approach works from the elite level all the way down, and it really centers on thinking about the person you want to be. So that would be the big takeaway, that anyone wanting to think about this MAP approach, and it centers on being the person you want to be and gives you the framework to be able to move towards that person.
Thanks, mate. It's been brilliant, and really it's thought-provoking, and it's, again, I love this stuff because it just gets me buzzing with ideas and passion, and so I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you having the chat and taking the time.
No problem. Have a good day.
All right, matey. Yeah, and you.
Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, bye.
It's Sunday morning now, and I had the chat with Stephen yesterday morning, and I've been able to reflect on it all day and try to distill what we were talking about, because we talked for over an hour, but I will try and distill what we were talking about and show how I think it can really benefit you and me in our training, running or triathlon, doesn't matter.
The most important takeaways I got from our chat was to start with your value, create one, your why. And for me, that's I want to be the very best Ben Bridges I can be at all times. Then, when you're exercising or even thinking about exercising, use mindfulness to notice your thoughts, positive or negative, but without judgment, and be present. Acceptance to be open to those thoughts, even if they're tough ones, and then commitment to get the job done anyway, because you're driven by your values to be the best you. Oh my God. A run, coffee, shower. There is not many better ways to start a day. So let's get back to the commitment aspect, the bit that I was talking about. And what I want to just grab onto there from my chat with Stephen is that you are going to have times where you don't act. You try and have that commitment to act, but you don't. And you have to try and work out why you didn't. And Stephen calls that an away move, as in it's a move that moves you away from the value that you have at the middle of all of this, the person that you're wanting to be. And you need to try and work out ways of having more towards moves, of helping yourself act. Like for me, and we did this a couple of vlogs ago, the 5-second rule to get us up and changed, the 10-minute rule to get us out and start training. Now these are things that I've put into my toolbox to create more towards moves, moving me towards the type of person that I want to be. But the really important thing is, and I think this will help more people than anything else is understanding that we all, from completely new runners, people that have never run and have just started running during the lockdown, to elite athletes, we all have these negative thoughts. We all have these thoughts like it's hard, or it hurts, or I don't want to go out. You're not alone when you have these thoughts, and please don't think that you are. Now it's all about building up enough psychological flexibility and I guess robustness to understand that the thoughts are just thoughts, and to even, like Stephen said earlier, to even treat them with a little bit of comedy. There you are. I didn't think I'd see you for another 20 minutes. Understand that, and that is a towards move. That moves us closer to our value. Now, I cannot pretend to do such a nuanced, difficult, intricate, enjoyable, interesting subject justice in the 10 minutes of this video. I simply can't. But I hope that I've at least given you a nugget, and Stephen, if you're watching this, I apologise if I've got any bits wrong. Perhaps if you wanted to jump in on the comments, and if anyone has any questions, then you might be able to help me clarify. But I hope I've done it a little bit of justice, and thank you for your time. And if you want to actually engage with Stephen yourself, if you want to go and find out a little bit more about what he's about or the MAC approach, then just check out athletefocus.com. I'll put a link here somewhere for you to go and check out. He offers one-to-one support. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to answer questions if you have them anyway, or just if you're interested in the subject further. But I'm going to leave you with this, and it's something that a friend of mine and a fellow coach, Mike Porteous, said during the Zoom chat we were all having. He had an athlete that has one of his tricks or one of his tips that he has used to rewire his brain when he gets these negative thoughts, and I loved it, was while he's out and while his brain is saying, and it was during an ultra marathon, and while his brain was saying, this is horrendous, I've got to stop, this is too painful, the athlete, instead of giving into those urges, instead of allowing those negative thoughts to take over, he has trained his brain and he's trained himself to, when he has those negative thoughts, he thinks, man, this is really, really hard, but I do hard things. And I loved that. He has just rewired and trained his brain to accept the pain, to accept the hardness, and be the person. His value is someone that does hard things. And so actually the negative thoughts play into that, and I just thought that was really wonderful. And if you're out there and if you're ever doubting yourself while you're out on a run, then these little things could be the difference between finishing that run or quitting. And I think at the end of the day we all just want to be out there being the best versions of us, don't we? So I hope that has all helped. Right, shut up Ben, see you Tuesday for Tutorial.